My friend Marcus moved into a beautiful new house in Northern Virginia 3 summers ago, with a gorgeous wooded backyard, a flagstone patio, and dreams of long, quiet summer evenings outside with his family. Then July hit. The mosquitoes appeared. Within 10 minutes of stepping outside at dusk, Marcus and his wife were getting bitten so badly they had to retreat into the house and slam the screen door behind them. They tried citronella candles. They tried bug zappers. They tried chemical mosquito sprays delivered by a service that cost $200 a month. Nothing worked well enough. By the end of that first summer, Marcus had spent over $600 on mosquito control. His patio sat unused for the entire season, and he was considering selling the house. Then his neighbor, Eleanor, walked over with a tray of small plants and a story to tell. Eleanor had lived in the same neighborhood for 30 years and had figured out the answer. Her own backyard, 20 feet from Marcus's, was essentially mosquito-free in every season. The trick was a specific group of fragrant plants Eleanor had carefully placed all around her seating area, her windows, her doors, and the path from house to patio. The plants do not poison mosquitoes. They do not zap them. They release specific compounds into the air that mosquitoes find absolutely repulsive, masking the carbon dioxide and human skin scents that mosquitoes use to find their next meal. Marcus took Eleanor's tray, planted those plants strategically around his patio, and within 2 summers his outdoor evenings became magical again. Today, I am walking you through the 11 specific plants Eleanor used in her own yard. Every one of them is widely available, every one is easy to grow, and every one produces strong, volatile oils that make your patio invisible to mosquitoes. Some of them are familiar herbs you may already grow. Some are unusual specialty plants that are absolutely worth tracking down. Plant any combination of these 11 around your seating areas, doorways, and pathways, and you reclaim your summer evenings without spraying chemicals on yourself or your family. Before we get into the list, let me explain how mosquito repellent plants actually work, because the science here is more interesting than most folks realize. Mosquitoes find their human prey using 3 main signals. They detect the carbon dioxide we exhale. They detect the lactic acid in our sweat. And they detect specific skin volatiles that change based on what we eat. The plants on today's list produce essential oils with chemical structures that interfere with all 3 of those detection signals. The most powerful compounds are citronellol, geraniol, eucalyptol, eugenol, and various terpenes, all of which mosquitoes find genuinely repulsive at high concentrations. Now here is the important truth that most articles get wrong. A single mosquito repellent plant sitting in a pot does almost nothing. The plant is releasing some of these compounds into the air constantly, but the concentration around a single plant is too low to make any real difference. To get genuine mosquito repellency, you need 3 things. First, you need to plant in groupings of 5 to 10 plants of the same or related species clustered together, not single specimens scattered around. Second, you need to crush or brush against the foliage to release a meaningful amount of essential oil into the air. Walking past the plants with your hand brushing the leaves on the way to the patio activates the repellency. Third, you need to plant near the spots where you actually experience mosquitoes, meaning right at the seating areas, right at doorways, and right along walking paths. A patio surrounded on 3 sides by clustered repellent plants becomes essentially mosquito-free. Plants stuck in random corners of the yard do almost nothing. Combine these 3 principles and the 11 specific plants on today's list, and you create a yard where summer evenings are absolutely livable again. If you are new to Everbloom Garden, welcome to the channel. This is the place for real American gardeners who want plants that actually solve real problems in real American yards across every climate zone of the country. New video every single week, covering perennials, fruit trees, ground covers, drought gardens, shade gardens, spring bulbs, fragrance gardens, late summer color, cold hardy specimens, prairie grasses, container plants, and now genuinely useful pest repellent solutions that work without spraying chemicals on yourself or your family. Hit subscribe and ring the little bell so you do not miss any of the upcoming videos. I will link related videos in the description below for any gardener who wants to keep digging into outdoor living solutions and herb garden topics. Now let's get into the 11 mosquito vanishing plants that absolutely transform your evening patio experience. The first plant on our list is the absolute classic mosquito repellent species and the source of the citronella oil used in commercial mosquito products for over a century. Citronella grass, Latin name Cymbopogon nardus. Citronella grass is a tall tropical-looking ornamental grass producing upright clumps about 3 to 5 feet tall with arching, narrow, blue-green leaves that release an absolutely intense lemon citrus fragrance when crushed or even just brushed past. The plant is the actual source of citronella essential oil, the same compound used in citronella candles, sprays, and natural insect repellents. Hardy from zones 9 through 11 only as a perennial, citronella grass is grown as an annual or container perennial across most of the country. Brought indoors for winter, in zones 8 and colder, the plant tolerates moving indoors quite well as long as it gets bright window light and is kept on the dry side during winter dormancy. Many folks treat the plant essentially as a houseplant from October through April and then return it to the patio every May for another full summer of mosquito-repelling duty. A single starter plant can last 5 or more years with this annual indoor-outdoor cycle. Use a large 18 to 24-inch pot. Place the pot directly next to your seating area, where you will brush past it on the way to your chair. The fragrance released by crushing a single leaf when you sit down genuinely repels mosquitoes in your immediate area for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Top picks. The straight species Cymbopogon nardus is what most folks grow when starting with citronella grass and is widely available at quality nurseries every spring. Java citronella, also called Cymbopogon winterianus, is a closely related species with even higher essential oil content and is preferred by commercial citronella oil producers for that reason. Both species look essentially identical in the garden, and both work brilliantly as patio repellents. Some folks confuse citronella grass with the colorful citronella-scented geraniums that big box stores sell labeled as mosquito plants every spring. Those plants are actually an entirely different species, more closely related to ornamental geraniums than to true citronella, and they have dramatically less actual citronella oil content, despite the misleading marketing. Buy the real grass for real repellency, and look specifically for the Latin name Cymbopogon on the plant tag to verify you are getting the genuine article. Second on the list is the most powerfully fragrant culinary herb on the entire planet, and a plant whose strong woody aroma absolutely confuses mosquitoes. Rosemary. Latin name Rosmarinus officinalis. Rosemary produces upright, woody, shrubby clumps about 3 to 4 feet tall, with narrow, needle-like dark green aromatic leaves and small pale blue flowers in spring and sometimes fall. The aromatic essential oils are intense, pine-like, and slightly camphor-scented. Hardy, from zones 7 through 10 in the ground, rosemary is grown as a container plant in colder zones and brought indoors over winter near a sunny window. The plant adapts to indoor conditions reasonably well during winter dormancy, as long as the soil is allowed to dry between waterings and the plant gets at least 6 hours of bright window light per day. Use a 16-inch pot. Place rosemary right at the entrance to your patio or near doorways, where you brush past it on the way in or out. The crushed needles release essential oils that mosquitoes find genuinely repulsive. Top picks. Tuscan Blue is the classic upright cultivar with the strongest fragrance and the most intense blue flowers, the variety I recommend most strongly for any first-time rosemary grower. ARP is the most cold-hardy variety, surviving Zone 6 winters in protected sites and pushing the geographic boundary of where rosemary can be grown as a perennial. Hill Hardy is another exceptionally cold-tolerant selection that overwinters reliably across much of the mid-Atlantic region. Salem has slightly more compact growth for smaller containers and is perfect for tight balcony spaces. Barbecue is a tall pillar form ideal for a dramatic vertical accent. The plant doubles as a culinary herb you can harvest fresh year-round, which makes it one of the most useful plants in any kitchen garden patio collection. The dried sprigs also work as natural moth repellent in clothing storage and bring an additional value as a houseplant-grade fragrance accent through the entire winter. Number 3 on our list is one of the most charming and traditional mosquito-repellent plants in any old American garden, and a plant whose intensely aromatic small leaves hide truly powerful essential oils. Pennyroyal. Latin name, Mentha pelagium. Pennyroyal is a member of the mint family, with small rounded green leaves on low spreading stems about 4 to 6 inches tall, and it releases an intensely strong mint and camphor fragrance when crushed. The plant has been used as a mosquito and flea repellent in folk traditions for over 2,000 years. Hardy from zones 6 through 9, pennyroyal grows as a low ground cover in any moist, semi-shaded spot, or in containers. Use a 14-inch pot. Place it where it will be brushed by foot traffic, perhaps along the edge of a patio walkway. One important safety note. Pennyroyal essential oil is genuinely toxic if ingested in concentrated amounts, and is not safe for pregnant women, infants, or pets to consume. The plant is safe as a garden ornamental, and the leaves are safe to brush against, but do not use the essential oil internally, and do not allow pets to chew on large amounts of foliage. Top picks. The straight species Mentha pelagium is what most folks grow and is widely available from herb specialty nurseries, particularly any nursery that focuses on traditional medicinal and culinary herbs. There are no significant named cultivars in the species, but the wild form is honestly hard to improve on for repellent purposes. Plant once, and the small spreading mat will provide reliable mosquito repellency for many years to come, gradually expanding to cover more area each season as the plant gets established. Pennyroyal can also be made into a strong tea infusion that some folks spray on outdoor patio fabric and seat cushions as an additional repellent layer, though for any internal use of the plant, please consult a qualified herbalist first because the dosing matters. Fourth on the list is one of the most underused fragrant Mediterranean herbs in American gardens, and a plant whose silver foliage releases an intense camphor and cedar aroma when crushed. Santolina, also commonly known as cotton herb in older garden books. Latin name Santolina chamaecyparissus. Santolina produces low evergreen mounded clumps about 2 feet tall and wide, with attractive silver-gray, finely textured foliage that looks like miniature cypress branches, topped in summer with cheerful yellow button-shaped flowers. The whole plant releases an intense aromatic fragrance with notes of camphor, cedar, and slight rosemary. Hardy from zones 6 through 9, Santolina wants full sun and lean, dry, well-drained soil. Use a 14-inch pot or plant in the ground in well-drained, sunny areas. Place it right alongside seeding areas where the silvery aromatic foliage is decorative as well as repellent. Top picks. The straight species Santolina chamaecyparissus is the standard form and is widely available at quality herb nurseries each spring. Lemon Queen has chartreuse green foliage and pale yellow flowers, an unusual color form for those wanting a brighter look. Pretty Carol is a more compact selection at 12 inches, perfect for smaller pots or front-of-border placement. Nana is another dwarf form for smaller pots and tight balcony spaces. Edward Bowles has cream-colored flowers instead of the standard yellow. All 5 release strong aromatic oils and provide year-round silver foliage attractive even when not actively repelling mosquitoes. The plant is also an excellent companion to roses and other Mediterranean herbs, where the silvery cypress-like form provides textural contrast to bolder leafy plants. Plant number 5 on our list is one of the most ancient cottage garden herbs in human history, and a plant whose intense bitter medicinal aroma was used for centuries as both a strewing herb and a mosquito repellent. Rue, Latin name Ruta gravelens. Rue produces upright, bushy clumps, about 2 to 3 feet tall, with attractive blue-green, deeply lobed foliage and clusters of small, bright yellow flowers in summer. The aromatic foliage releases a powerful, bitter, somewhat unpleasant aroma that humans tolerate at low concentrations, but that mosquitoes and many other insects absolutely detest. Hardy from zones 4 through 9, Rue wants full sun and lean, dry, well-drained soil. Use a 14 to 18-inch pot. Place it well away from main seating areas where the strong bitter aroma is overwhelming, but near doorways and pathways where the volatile oils discourage insects from approaching the house. One critical safety note. Rue contains chemical compounds that cause severe skin reactions and blistering when the sap contacts skin and is then exposed to sunlight, a phenomenon called phytophotodermatitis. Always wear long sleeves and gloves when pruning or handling rue, and avoid handling the plant on sunny days. The plant is perfectly safe as a non-touched garden ornamental. Top picks. The straight species Ruta gravelens is what most folks grow when they want the strongest aromatic effect. Jackman's Blue has more intensely blue foliage and is the most ornamental cultivar in the family, an absolute showpiece of any herb garden patio. Variegata has cream-edged variegated leaves for a slightly softer visual look. Curly Girl has finely textured curled foliage and a more refined garden presence. All 4 repel mosquitoes equally well at the air perimeter level. The plant has a long history in folk traditions where farmers used dried bunches of rue leaves hung in barns and kitchens to repel flies, mosquitoes, and other insects. The same dried bunch approach still works today as an additional layer of protection alongside the living planted version on the patio. Number 6 on our list is one of the most aromatic and historically beloved cottage garden herbs, with a long folk medicine history that reaches back thousands of years. Tansy, Latin name Tanacetum vulgare. Tansy produces upright clumps about 3 to 4 feet tall, with attractive, deeply cut fern-like green foliage and clusters of bright yellow button-shaped flowers in late summer. The aromatic foliage releases a strong camphor and pine fragrance when crushed that has been used historically as a fly and mosquito repellent in farmhouse kitchens and barns. Hardy from zones 3 through 9, Tansy wants full sun and average well-drained soil. Use a 14 to 18-inch pot. Place it near doorways or seating area edges. One important note: tansy spreads aggressively by rhizomes when planted directly in the ground, so containers are strongly recommended for this plant, unless you have a dedicated dry meadow area where you actually want a colony to form. Top picks. The standard species Tenacetum vulgare is widely available from quality herb nurseries each spring. Crispum is a more compact form with extra curly foliage, particularly attractive in a container collection where the unusual leaf texture stands out. Isla Gold has chartreuse green foliage that adds bright color contrast to the standard green herbs. Gold Sticks is another newer cultivar with bright yellow stems and exceptional vigor. All four are reliable and aromatic, providing the same strong camphor pine repellent fragrance with slightly different ornamental presentations. The plant has been used for centuries in farmhouse traditions, where bunches of dried tansy were placed under mattresses, woven into wreaths over doorways, and tucked into chicken coops to repel flies and biting insects. All right, we are halfway through our 11 mosquito vanishing plants. Before we move on, I want to share something important about combining these plants for actual real-world mosquito control on a typical American patio. The single most important strategic decision is to create what I call a fragrance perimeter around your seating area. This means positioning your repellent plants in a continuous ring or arc that surrounds the patio on at least 3 sides, ideally 4. Mosquitoes approach human prey from downwind, and a fragrance perimeter intercepts the airborne scent signals that mosquitoes use to locate you before they ever reach your skin. To build a fragrance perimeter on a typical 10 by 12 foot patio, you want about 8 to 12 repellent plants in total, distributed around the patio edges in groupings of 2 or 3 plants of the same species. The clusters of like plants amplify each species' aromatic signature, while the variety of different repellent compounds prevents mosquitoes from adapting to any single scent. Position larger pots at the corners and seating area entrances where pedestrian traffic is highest. Position smaller pots along the windward edge to catch the prevailing breeze, and keep at least one large pot directly next to where you actually sit, so you can casually crush a leaf or 2 with your fingers when you settle in for the evening to release a fresh burst of aromatic oils into your immediate air space. That single small action of crushing leaves at the moment you sit down is the difference between a perimeter that mostly works and a perimeter that absolutely stops mosquitoes in their tracks. The fragrance lasts about 30 to 45 minutes in still evening air, exactly the duration of a typical evening meal or drink outdoors. Plant number 7 on our list is one of the most beautifully fragrant herbs in any patio container, and a plant whose lemon-scented leaves are absolutely irresistible to humans and absolutely unacceptable to mosquitoes. Lemon verbena. Latin name, Aloysia citrodora. Lemon verbena produces upright, deciduous shrubby clumps about 3 to 4 feet tall, with narrow, lance-shaped, bright green leaves that release the most intense, pure lemon fragrance of any garden plant when crushed or even just brushed against. The fragrance is absolutely magical, like fresh lemon zest amplified 10 times over. Hardy from zones 9 through 11 reliably as a perennial, lemon verbena is grown as a container plant in colder zones and brought indoors over winter, where it will go semi-dormant. Use a 16 to 18-inch pot. Place it right next to your seating area where guests can run their hands across the leaves and inhale the fragrance, which doubles as conversation magic and mosquito repellency. Top picks. The straight species, Aloysia citrodora, is widely available from quality herb nurseries each spring. There are not many named cultivars in the species, but the species itself is genuinely hard to improve on. Variegata is one of the few cultivars and has cream-edged variegated leaves with the same intense lemon fragrance. The leaves are also delicious in cold beverages, ice cream, herbal teas, and shortbread cookies, making this one of the most useful and most multi-purpose patio plants you can possibly grow. A single mature plant produces enough leaves through summer to flavor dozens of meals, while simultaneously repelling mosquitoes from the surrounding air. Number 8 on our list is one of the most aromatic and historically significant Mediterranean herbs, and a plant whose silvery aromatic foliage has been used in mosquito repellent applications for centuries. Wormwood, Latin name Artemisia absinthium. Wormwood produces upright clumps about 3 feet tall, with stunning, deeply cut silver-gray, finely textured foliage and small, inconspicuous yellow flowers in late summer. The aromatic foliage releases a powerful sage and camphor fragrance when crushed that mosquitoes find absolutely unacceptable. Hardy from zones 4 through 9, wormwood wants full sun and lean, dry, well-drained soil, and is one of the most cold-hardy and drought-tolerant aromatic herbs in the entire mosquito-repellent plant world. The plant has been cultivated for over 2,000 years and was a staple of European monastery gardens, herbalist plantings, and farmhouse herb plots throughout the medieval and Renaissance periods. Use a 14-inch pot. Place it near patio edges. The silvery foliage is also one of the most beautiful texture and color contrasts you can add to a container collection, making this plant doubly valuable as both an ornamental and a repellent. Top picks. Powys Castle is the classic ornamental cultivar with finer textured silver foliage and exceptional vigor across most American gardens. Lambrook Silver is another excellent compact selection with a slightly more refined garden presence. Silver King has bright silver foliage and is widely available at quality nurseries. Silver Mound is another classic cultivar forming tight, rounded clumps, perfect for container plantings. Sweet Annie, the closely related Artemisia annua species, has the strongest aromatic intensity and historically the most powerful repellent effect, though it is technically an annual, rather than a perennial, that needs replacing each year. All 5 work brilliantly as repellent companions and provide stunning silver foliage drama, unlike any other plant in the herb garden world. Plant number 9 on our list is one of the most charming traditional cottage garden herbs, and a plant whose intensely aromatic blue flowers have been used in folk medicine for thousands of years. Hyssop, Latin name Hyssopus officinalis. Hyssop produces upright clumps about 2 feet tall with narrow lance-shaped dark green aromatic leaves and tall vertical spikes packed with intensely blue, pink, or white tubular flowers from June through September. Bees adore the flowers, and the plant doubles as a pollinator attractor while repelling mosquitoes. The aromatic foliage releases a sharp camphor and mint fragrance when crushed. Hardy from zones 4 through 9, hyssop wants full sun and lean, well-drained soil, and absolutely thrives in poor sandy or rocky conditions where many other plants would struggle. Use a 14-inch pot. The plant is also one of the most charming pollinator attractors in any herb garden, drawing native bees, honeybees, and small butterflies all summer long. Place it along patio edges where the deep blue flowers are also visually beautiful. Top picks. The standard species Hyssopus officinalis with deep blue flowers is what most folks grow first and is widely available from quality herb nurseries each spring. Albus is a pure white flowered selection that pairs beautifully with the blue forms in mixed plantings. Roseus is a soft pink-flowered form, an unusual color in this aromatic herb genus. Sissinghurst is a more compact selection at about 15 inches, perfect for smaller pots or front-of-border placement. Aristatus is a tighter compact form with extra deep blue spike color. All 5 are reliable and aromatic, providing the same strong camphor mint repellent fragrance, combined with the bonus benefit of excellent late summer pollinator support that regular flowering plants on the patio rarely match. Number 10 on our list is one of the most majestic aromatic woody plants in any American garden, and a plant whose ancient leaves have been used as a culinary herb and mosquito repellent for thousands of years. Sweet bay, also called bay laurel, Latin name Laurus nobilis. Sweet bay produces an upright evergreen woody shrub or small tree growing 5 to 20 feet tall, depending on container size, with attractive glossy, dark green, leathery oval leaves that release an intense, spicy aromatic fragrance when crushed. The leaves are the same bay leaves used in soups and stews. Hardy, from zones 8 through 10 as a tree, sweet bay is grown as a container plant in colder zones, kept compact at 3 to 5 feet by regular pruning. The plant adapts beautifully to container culture and tolerates moving indoors over winter to a cool, bright location like an unheated sunroom or porch, where it stays semi-dormant until spring. Use an 18 to 20-inch pot. Place it next to seating areas where the spicy fragrance contributes to the patio atmosphere. The leaves can be harvested fresh year-round for cooking. Top picks. The straight species Laurus nobilis is the standard form and has been grown in cultivation for over 3,000 years, making it one of the oldest cultivated culinary herbs in the world. Aurea has gold-tinted foliage that brings warm color to the patio collection. Saratoga is a more compact selection with extra cold tolerance, performing well in Zone 7 with proper winter protection. Angustifolia has narrower, more refined foliage. All 4 repel insects beautifully and double as productive culinary plants. The dried leaves are essential in soups, stews, sauces, and slow-braised meat dishes, and a single mature container-grown bay tree produces enough harvested leaves to last a small family through several years of cooking. The plant also lives for decades in container culture, with some specimen bay trees in European gardens documented as over 100 years old in the same pot lineage. The 11th and final plant on our list is one of the fastest-growing and most aromatic woody plants you can put in a container, and a plant whose intense menthol camphor fragrance absolutely repels mosquitoes from the surrounding air. Hardy eucalyptus, Latin name Eucalyptus gunnii. Hardy eucalyptus is the cold-tolerant cousin of the more familiar tropical eucalyptus species, growing as an upright tree with stunning silver-blue rounded juvenile leaves on young plants. In container culture in colder zones, hardy eucalyptus is kept at 4 to 6 feet by annual hard pruning, which also releases tremendous amounts of aromatic essential oils into the surrounding air. The leaves contain eucalyptol, one of the most powerful mosquito-repellent compounds known. Hardy from zones 7 through 11 as a tree, eucalyptus is grown as a container plant in colder zones with annual hard pruning to keep the size manageable. The fast growth rate is a major advantage. A small starter plant typically reaches 4 to 5 feet within a single growing season and can be hard pruned down to 2 feet every spring to maintain a tidy, compact form for years. Use an 18 to 24-inch pot. Place it as a tall focal point at the corner of a seating area where the silver foliage is dramatically beautiful and the aromatic effect is most pronounced. Top picks. Eucalyptus gunnii is the most cold, hardy species and the standard for American container gardens, surviving brief dips to about 10 degrees Fahrenheit in protected pots. Eucalyptus pulverulenta. Baby blue has even more intensely silver blue rounded leaves and is grown commercially for the cut flower trade, where the silvery foliage is highly prized. Eucalyptus parvifolia, also called small-leaved gum, is another cold-hardy selection with finer textured foliage. Eucalyptus neglecta is one of the absolute most cold-tolerant species, surviving Zone 7 winters in some protected sites. All four work brilliantly as patio mosquito repellents and provide stunning silvery focal point drama as a bonus. The cut branches are also famously valuable for indoor flower arrangements where the silver foliage provides architectural contrast and a fresh aromatic scent that lasts up to a month in a vase. Before we wrap up, here is exactly how to combine all 11 of these mosquito vanishing plants into a complete patio fragrance perimeter that will make your summer evenings genuinely magical again. Start by mapping your patio. Identify the main seating areas, the doorway from house to patio, and the path you walk between them. Place your largest aromatic plants, the eucalyptus and sweet bay, at the two corners of the patio that receive the most prevailing wind. These tall woody plants form the anchor points of your fragrance perimeter. Next, place medium-sized container plants, the citronella grass, rosemary, and lemon verbena, directly next to your seating chairs, where you will brush against them every time you sit down or stand up. These three species provide the intense close-range repellency at the moment of mosquito danger. Then position the silver foliage repellent herbs, the wormwood, santolina, and tansy, along the back perimeter of the patio in a soft visual border that doubles as ornamental silver and yellow color contrast. Tuck the smaller herbs, the pennyroyal, hyssop, and rue, along the front edge and along the walkway from house to patio, where you will brush past them with every trip outside. The total cost for a complete 11-plant container collection is around $300 from quality herb nurseries, but the entire collection lasts 10 or more years from a single planting and saves you the recurring annual cost of mosquito sprays, candles, and chemical services that typically run $200 to $400 per summer. 2 quick mistakes to avoid before I let you go. The first is expecting these plants to work without crushing or brushing the foliage. A santolina sitting untouched in a corner does almost nothing. The same plant brushed against every time you walk past it releases enough aromatic oil to clear your immediate area of mosquitoes for 30 to 45 minutes. The repellency is in the volatile oils released by physical disturbance of the leaves, not in the plant simply existing nearby. Plan to physically interact with your repellent plants every time you go outside. The second mistake is relying on these plants to work in conditions of standing water nearby. Mosquitoes breed in any standing water, including bird baths, clogged gutters, kiddie pools, and even tiny saucers under flower pots. No amount of repellent plants will solve a mosquito problem if you have active breeding sites in your yard. Empty all standing water sources every 3 to 4 days and combine that habitat reduction with the fragrance perimeter for genuine mosquito-free outdoor living. And that is the complete list, friends. 11 plants that absolutely make mosquitoes disappear from your yard with the right strategic placement and physical interaction. Citronella grass for the absolute classic citronella oil. Rosemary for woody pine camphor repellency at every doorway. Pennyroyal for the strong mint camphor folk traditional foliage. Santolina for silvery cedar camphor patio borders. Rue for the bitter ancient repellent fragrance. Tansy for camphor pine farmhouse traditional borders. lemon verbena for the most beautiful pure lemon scent right next to seating, wormwood for stunning silver foliage sage camphor drama, hyssop for blue-flowered camphor mint pollinator-friendly borders, sweet bay for tall, spicy, aromatic, woody perimeter anchor, and hardy eucalyptus for the most powerful menthol camphor silvery focal point repellent. Plant any combination of 5 or more of these around your seating area, following the fragrance perimeter principle. Brush against the foliage when you sit down, and reclaim your summer evenings from the mosquitoes, once and for all. If this video helped you, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps more folks discover this channel and reclaim their own outdoor evenings without spraying chemicals on themselves or their families. Hit subscribe if you have not already, and ring the little bell so you do not miss new videos. Drop a comment below and tell me which mosquito repellent plant is already growing on your patio right now, or which one you are most excited to add to your collection this summer, and which U.S. state and zone you are gardening in. I especially love hearing from gardeners in the southern states who deal with the worst mosquito pressure in the country, because your stories about which combinations actually worked will help other folks across the same climate zones. I read every single comment, friends. Until next time, friends, happy planting from all of us here at Everbloom Garden, and may your summer evenings finally become the magical mosquito-free outdoor moments you always wanted them to be. With the kids running around in the backyard, friends gathered on the patio at sunset, and not a single bug in sight, all without spraying any toxic chemicals on yourself, on your kids, on your pets, or anywhere into the air around your family and loved ones, and without paying any of those expensive monthly mosquito control services that typically cost between $200 and $400 per summer year after year ever again, into the long future ahead of your peaceful outdoor summer evenings as a happy gardener and parent or grandparent, reclaiming your own beautiful, peaceful backyard from those biting, buzzing mosquitoes once and for all this very summer, and for every single summer ever after that follows.